Hello, everybody. This is Mike, and welcome back to Fast Cars, Clear Gems. Last time, give us a little bit of a Frank Miller style flashback. We get like one panel where it shows um sorry, give me 1 second. Where it shows Lily Baird tied up to Lily Baird tied up to or handcuffed to her own fucking counter and an open set of gyms, and cops are kind of surrounding her. And shows her in jail for the next panel, right? And then a shadowy figure for the next panel kind of slides into the frame. Shows Lily Baird holding up her hand, missing a finger. Um, and then it shows Joker and Pamela surrounding Lily Baird after getting her out. Shows Joker hitting Lily Baird in the head inside the car. Then it shows Lily Baird handcuffed in the cell. It fades from comic book style back into actual real life on her sitting there in the cell. We hear the talking going on outside of the cell door. Um, you guys are there, and you've got good old good old Bickle. He's like, yes, but a drive from Grand Louis Slat all the way up to Syndicate, and he's like fucking around on his phone. He's like, it's 17 hours to drive that, and then it's 17 hours to drive back.
Well, I'm just going to say that I'm not terribly as concerned about making this meeting. If they know if they there's a good chance they know we're not likely to show up under these circumstances anyway. And by the way, Joker, there's a cooler in the office back at the new building, the new hideout that's got the remains of something, and and we should probably dispose of that, as well as any other items that were sent to anyone
I
of a
gave
Great.
her her ring back, but still, does she want her finger back? I didn't really put it on ice or nothing.
I was gonna say, did we not let her out? Because if we did, Joker was going to do that at the end of last session.
We can let her out now.
Okay, yeah.
Like maybe Joker it like strikes you. You know, at this point we're going to help her. Let's let her out.
I have a plan. You see, I was so torn about having these guests just sitting somewhere waiting for us. So I think it's time we sent them a little bit of fun.
A little bit of fun in the form of what exactly? We do have the knowledge that there's likely governmental forces involved.
Well, that's
My
fine because that's federal. I was thinking about cluing in the local cops to something illicit going down at the rec center about the time, I don't know, we were say to meet them there. At the very least, there'll be confusion. With luck, shots will be fired.
it's I don't know, it's worth a try, but if they're smart, they'll have the place staked out long before, smell something's up, and back
Oh,
off before
I've
anything
got
happens.
I've got a friend. I'll just let him call. Say, I don't know, about 3 minutes till. Let the cops know. There's an arms deal going down in the rec center. Here's the address.
Hmm.
I just think it's a bit of fun. I don't particularly care either way.
It's worth a
Center.
try. Try
Yeah,
to keep running around as much as possible.
yeah. And Bickle's like, plus rec center's already pretty compromised. I thought I was clever using a rec center. Who's going to think of a fucking recreational center to be the place where crime happens? But no, apparently they thought of it.
Yeah,
Bickle,
well,
you got outplayed. Happens to
same
everyone. Go ahead.
He shrugs.
same for the same for my new base of operations. I no sooner got the place than they already knew about it.
Hey,
Which
they decided to not drop my package off here and instead brought it to where I currently was. If
in
that's
other
not
words,
creepy, I don't know what is.
I'd still rather not have the police crawling around my investments, but I'd want to make sure that they don't have anything that they can find there of any incriminating nature before we if they do. And it's probably best if we're not exactly there.
Mm.
I have some things in the work, but I have an idea, but I have a feeling that before this is done, we're all taking a trip to Africa.
Bickle
Sounds fun
shrugs and
by me.
goes, yeah, Bickle shrugs and goes, I guess we are. And says, so whose car are we taking?
Joker just holds up the key on his. Actually, how many people are going?
See, so Con, Joker, and Mikey are going, right? The three player characters.
Yep.
Right. Well, I imagine Lily's going to go too if we're trying to
Yep.
keep, or if
Mm-hmm.
we're rescuing her kid.
And then Bickle wants to go.
Well, that
Right.
makes 5, which would be enough to fit in the Plymouth.
Yeah,
Unless we want to bring Grandma along.
Pamela. Yeah.
Pamela,
Grandma.
I thought, no, I figure Pamela needs to go
Oh,
too. We're probably better served taking the SUV.
That makes 6, so yeah, it'll have to be the SUV.
Pamela, by the way, if you call her grandma, does not like she like totally is warm to it. She's like, "Oh yeah, you can call me grandma if you want."
Really? After you were about to take my head off not 15 minutes ago?
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean, listen, grandchildren can piss anyone off, and if y'all are trying to be my grandkids, I could understand why you try to piss me off.
Just
Listen,
one thing.
I've had grandkids who tried to actually kill me. I don't really
Well,
have a problem with whatever this is comparatively.
then I'm
I think
glad, very glad that you're here and they're not.
I
Oh,
think
honey,
that
yeah, they're not anywhere anymore, friend.
Except the bottom of except, what, rotting at the bottom of a swamp?
Huh, they could be gator shit for all I know. I never asked the questions, I just sent them away and they never found them.
well, with that in mind, I think we have a few last minute loose ends we need to tie up before we get heading on the road. Any and all body parts that have been sent to us need to be disposed of somewhere far away from our properties.
Hmm.
We need to far away from anywhere where we're at. And Joker, I guess if you're gonna get the call to see if you can't get some police out there, that's probably a thing that needs to be done.
Yeah,
Uh,
Well,
I can get
we'll
that set
do
up.
that while we're on the road and do it closer to the actual meeting time.
Oh,
well, we
I
can't.
figure we.
No, he's gonna have his friend call, and we
Yeah,
can't exactly get rid of the evidence if it's still here and we're on the road. That's
yeah.
why I say things that we have to do before we hit the road.
I wasn't listening very well. My bad. I'm trying to fix my computer. I gotta
Yeah.
redouble this and move this around and reinstall. They messed up my computer bad, so I was focused on that. Sorry,
There
I missed a
is
few keywords.
there is one last thing I would like to get straightened out before we go our merry ways. Turning to Lily, he puts out a hand. I'm sorry.
Lily, like with her black eye, looks at your hand, kind of trembles, and like lightly shakes it.
He says, I guess I owe you one. We were even. Sorry about your hand, by the way. But
Mm.
you, he kind of points to his shoulder. I would have called that even, but then the. Let me go get some ice for that.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
Um.
he is going to go quickly. He'll grab a bag of ice and he'll come back with
Mhm.
that and a sealed can of Dr. Pepper. Hands her the
Yeah,
bag of
she
ice and the Dr. Pepper if she takes it.
yeah, she takes both of them.
I figured
Um
since we're working together, well, I should probably own up and say I'm sorry.
she nods and says, well, I mean, if we're going to save my kid, I guess we're even."
He nods.
Yeah.
Well, before we break out guitars and start singing "Kumbaya," I believe we got a bit of business we need to take care of. Uh,
Did you ever find that cat?
Um.
I just thought about that. The
Mhm.
cat that was in her apartment
Yeah. Do you
before
do
she
you
went to
ask her?
jail. Yeah, as I'm findangling on the computer, that pops into my head. Hey, do you ever find your cat?
Oh, sorry, I was in jail because some asshole set me up. Not a lot of time for feline searching.
Khan goes, "Yeah, that. Yeah. How was she going to find the cat when she was handcuffed to a counter until police arrived?"
No.
he kind of Khan just kind of shakes his head. He goes, "Anyway, I've got some, Mikey. I've got something I need to talk to you about. Uh, as far as it goes, Pamela, Bickle, Joker, take Lily and go get this phone call done and deal with the potential evidence.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some things I need to work out with Mikey, and I've got a couple more contacts I need to hit up before we leave. We'll meet back here, and we'll meet back here as soon as we're done. Keep in close contact, and yeah, then we're gonna hit the road and go to New York.
Yeah. Um, and Pamela's like, "Do we have time to stop at Broadway?" I'm just kidding. Though I would love to see that Hamilton musical. I've heard it's very good. Um, and we'll cut to you guys driving. Don't worry, we'll cut back and forth.
Like,
Yeah. Like, oh, go ahead.
it's like probably a thing like, well, probably a thing like, yeah, it's been a while since I've had an authentic New York hot dog.
Isn't a hot dog a hot dog?
You don't understand. If you've never had a New York hot dog,
And at this point, we cut to the car, right? And you guys are going down the highway, and like we get kind of one of those slam cuts, and it's like fucking Lily is like in the seat, and she's like, "Listen, it's not like New York City. It's like almost like a suburb of Albany, but like a suburb of a suburb of Albany. It's like Broadway isn't there, and like the hot dogs you're gonna get there are kind of just normal hot dogs."
crap. Well,
Hmm.
maybe
And who's driving at this point?
It could be Joker.
Okay.
like, damn it, I don't know. Maybe it'll be something worthwhile.
Pamela, how do you drive when your car is pulling like this?
Oh, it's just something you get used to. When you get old, parts of you pull, so it's kind of like walking. Just, sometimes I list to the left, sometimes this old girl lists to the left.
You know, we can pull parts off these things and fix that, right?
They told me I could replace my hip, but I said I wasn't going to be setting off every goddamn airport terminal.
You mean you didn't want to give yourself a free pass to smuggle metallic weaponry on board? Okay.
Oh no, honey, trust me. You can do that, but it's best, in my experience, to not even draw a single bit of attention to yourself when you don't have to. And by the way, this runs counter to everything that Pamela even does in the
Right.
fucking field. Like she's the
Right.
first person to walk in. Oh, honey,
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, Khan just kind of but Khan probably would think of it like, no. There are situations where you want to draw a lot of attention, and then there are sometimes you're drawing attention because you want them to pay attention to your face. You want people to pay. Sometimes you want people to pay attention to the body rather than the face. Know what I mean?
Mhm.
To them, you're just the lady with the bionic hip, not the lady that smiles too much, stares too long, and asks too many questions.
Oh, don't worry. They never think that they never think I'm anything but harmless. The only thing they ever ask is a joking little thing about, "Are these brownies legal, ma'am?" Of course, they always are, unless walnuts are illegal.
Some places.
Um,
Yeah,
and
Khan just looks at him. He looks at Joker like, "Where are you going? The walnuts are illegal."
Well,
mm,
maybe next time we get involved in. Never mind.
yeah, and maybe it's at this point. She's like, Pamela's like, "All right, so just as the checklist, we got the body stuff taken care of, and we get a flashback to like all of you guys, like Bickle, Joker, and Pamela, um, like moving stuff out into a swamp in some like remote area, but like Pamela's not touching any of it. Obviously, she's like, "I found the spot. Y'all two are big strapping men," sort of thing.
No,
You know.
Yeah, and they couldn't be any more different You see Joker with his kind of wiry frame and Bickle.
Yeah, Bickle, who's like not a mountain of a man by any means, but like defined, you know? Bickle
Right.
just rolls his eyes, you know? Um, and it's like, and we also got the phone call taken care of. And shit, hold on, let me open my notes. Blah, blah, blah. You see oh, come on, where is it? Oh, yeah, you see Daryl. He's
Yep.
like, "What? Okay, so you want or what? So you want me to give them a call when?"
I give him the time of the. I give him the time and location.
Like,
Hey, just think about it. You get to fuck with the local cops who don't like you, and then you get
mhm.
to fuck with the out-of-state feds who don't like anybody like you.
And on top of that, they backtrace it to me because I'm not calling on my own cell, but they'll probably be able to wire trace it all the way back to this shop if I'm not careful. So what's in it for me? And he kind of like very cheesily rubs his fingers together, like with the whole like money thing.
He rolls his
There's
eyes and
a
goes,
small little technology thing to patch in to where we can transfer that number all over the place and make them all confused to where they don't want to play with tracking it down.
Oh yeah, no. And he totally would be using that, but he's dealing with feds, right? Which
Right.
is like at that point, feds fuck around with the shit that nobody else wants to fuck around with. That's literally their job is to be way too nosy and determined.
"Oh, sure." And that's where Joker would put a burner phone and a wad of bills on the counter and go, "You go." He slides the money over. "You buy
Yeah.
yourself a coffee on the other side of town. Get out, enjoy the sun. It's beautiful. You
Yeah.
call on this, and then you pitch it in the ocean."
And he's like, "Okay. And how much money is in the wad of bills?"
Joker
Cuz
probably. Go ahead.
you guys like in your inventory, you have uh 50K.
Uh, Joker would probably know about what this guy operates on.
Mhm.
So it'd probably be, I don't know, Khan, what would you have approved?
Well, let's not forget we have whatever's left of the 50K from the first job. We've got
Yeah.
whatever's left of the 75,000K from the second job. We've gotten we haven't exactly gotten paid for either of those jobs, but we do have the operational budget, whatever we haven't spent.
Yeah.
Hold
I
on,
don't
hold
know
on.
how much Bickle spent getting the stuff we needed last
Can
time.
can we say we got him a Musk Diamond? Because he said
No,
he said
no,
I
we already
he
we already planted those. We
Yeah.
already planted those on her
Yeah.
and used those because those
that would
had
have
to be
been
those are some of those that had to go back to the
ah.
fucking. I don't want the contact at the museum is far too valuable to burn like that.
So let's
Because
see.
she'd burn us.
66571
No,
minus.
more than that, she's much more useful as an informant, especially with this shit here.
Hold on.
That's your
thinking about.
contact, though. This is my
Hold
contact.
Give me 1 second. I gotta pull up a calculator. 'Cause I'm
How come
dumb.
your contact's more important than my contact? Because
25.
she is Joker. Well, that's
let's see,
not
so-
fair.
Yeah, you have this much 51,571 left from the other one. You still have not gotten the rocks moved because everything happened so fast. They're sitting in a safe location, so says Bickle.
So says Pickle.
Yeah, as with the along with the Adamas Karif. So they're sitting in the same place as the Adamas Karif.
I was gonna say, could we just say we give him $1,000?
Okay.
I mean, it's like I'm asking Khan. Just
Oh yeah.
how much would he have approved for this?
So you're talking about like what? A 1,000 then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. That's fine.
Okay.
give
Yeah,
it-
he probably would slide. It's it's a stack of Well, no, he would want unmarked 20s. They're Here's your big wad of 20s. And he goes, so, coffee, sunset, just making a little call like to your grandma, you know, the one that always chastises you about, you never call.
He's like, yeah, definitely, my grandma. Okay, whatever.
Hey.
And yeah, I put the updated total in your group notes and inventory about how much
Gotcha.
money you have.
And by the way, after that, you just sit and chill on the police scanners because either, one, they're going to have some juicy tidbits about how they knew a Fed sting was going to go off in a rec center, or B, they had no fucking clue, in which case, getting the locals and the feds to point guns at each other? Ah, that sounds like fun.
Let's see. Yeah. So he's like, okay, you got me, and he like takes the thou and he like slips it in his pocket. He's like, if this shit somehow backtraces to me, I'm gonna be pissed and probably dead and in jail. And don't worry, I will squeal on you if I'm in jail. So just hope it doesn't backtrace.
Then wear a glove.
Yeah. And like maybe we cut from there. And it's like Bickle is in the back seat. He's like reading some novel in Ukrainian. He pulls the novel down. He goes, you get everything sorted, Khan, you and Mikey, and whatever groups you have.
So I think the flashback is probably the two, Con and talking to Mikey while everybody else is out doing stuff.
Yeah.
And the first thing off is like, so Mikey, what have you found out about our crew? Anything interesting?
Dude, I've just got the computer back to working order. Once I get that done, then I can look into them.
will give you. I'm going to shoot you a few things in Discord real quick that you found out. They're small, but I'll let you decide how much of this you want to talk about.
Right.
Let's see here. Let's see. So let's get actually the stuff you were taking care of afterwards, Jesta, while I get this all typed up. I should have had this ready.
Well, the other part of this conversation would be I need you to utilize time once you get that computer up and running, utilize some of your time to look up anything you can find about the Berber tribes in Africa and the surrounding area. Jean-Yves Callier, who was the one who stole the gems and brought them back to Europe, and Benno Ermiger. I need to know anything we can about Calais State and Ermiger's estate, and everything we can find on the Berber tribes, their situation with the government, or with the government, with their government. We also need to find out who the standing government is around that area at this time. So I'm not entirely a big. It's not exactly my forte. Um, but there is one more thing I think. But yeah, that's the discussion points for now. But I also the one other thing I was gonna do is, and I want to run this by you. I want to ask you here real quick. So I have 1 point left. I from the 2 points I had, I used one to gain the building and whatnot,
Yeah.
and what have you. Can I use the other point to make this a functioning front, operational front? Like, not
How do you?
immediately, but like,
It's already an operational front. I mean, like that'll just be something with time. But
well, I
yeah.
mean, like, yeah, I meant like with like staff and fucking legitimate business licenses, with people, with all of us, with fake credentials for all of us as being like
Ah,
part of a
the
securities company, yeah, financial company.
Have you ever
Where
seen the show Leverage?
no, I have not.
You are literally doing the plot of Leverage without even knowing it.
That's beautiful.
Yes, that
That's
is that
beautiful.
would be a point.
That's
Um,
exactly right.
yeah, that would be a point to like fabricate licenses, identities, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I will spend that point so that we now appear to be completely we now have fake identities, licenses, and fucking we appear to be the sort of um suit and tie staff of the management staff of this company.
Right, right.
So
Yeah, that we'll still say that takes a little bit of time because
right.
like
Oh no, I
location
figured it probably
time.
would.
Yeah, yeah, but no, if you want to spend that other point, that would give you the actual legitimate veneer. Because beforehand, yes, you could like launder small amounts of money through the thing, and like it's a legitimate business, totally, you know. But if you want to like make it a legitimate business that you can fake people out with for like
Yeah.
identities, yeah, that'll take the other point.
That is exactly what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Fucking and let's see. All right. Yeah, the Peterson Holdings and Securities that has the building with the garage and the offices, company with credentials and licenses. And let's say we appear to be an investment firm. So we'll change the name of it from Peterson Securities to Holding to Peterson Investment.
Nice.
Peterson Investments. That way, we appear to be a financial company. And that's such a broad enough scope. It gives us an excuse when we hit South Africa to be like, yes, we're with Peterson Investments and we're looking into some, mining operations here or whatever. Um,
So, yeah, no, I like that. I like that. Mikey, I have sent you that information. Do with it as you please. You are under no obligation to reveal it nor hide it.
Okay, so I'm not sure what Khan really wants to know, but
well, pretty much everything. He pretty much was like, we probably need to know about the people anything we can about the people we're working with. Because that's the thing. Anybody who's worked with Khan for this long would notice that he's all about gathering intelligence before he makes any kind of a move. So gathering intel of any and all forms is absolutely something he would do in preparation for any kind of planning. In this case, mostly just to know what he can expect from the crew reasonably.
all right. So Mikey's gonna look at you and be like, "All right, well, I know a few things off the top of my head, but to gather more in depth, I'd have to search deeper.
But what do you got so far? Because it's anything could be important.
Well, let's see. He used to be military. That's kind of cool.
Who did?
Bickle used to be in the army. He's ex-military.
It seems logical.
Yeah. Of course, we know Joker was on TV. I've seen a couple of those episodes. They're kind of funny.
Television, huh?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's on this game show. It was really cool. I watched a couple episodes. They were kind of fun to watch. I think I saved a couple episodes to my computer before it crashed. Now I gotta find them again. But they're
huh.
entertaining.
Well, I suppose working on hosting a game show could drive somebody crazy. Anything else? Get anything on Pamela?
Pamela. Let's see. Uh, Well, she was she was a mob boss.
Mob boss, huh?
Yeah, it's not known where she was a mob boss at, but she was brutal as all get out for what she. When she was doing it, she was kind of brutal about what she was doing. So, getting on her bad side might not be a good idea.
Yeah, but it also confirms some of the suspicions I've had about her ever since I first met her. Ever since we first met her.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, right now I could write up a formal report of what I know, but whatever. Um, but I could dig deeper to see if I can find more about her or Bickle or anybody else. Joker seems pretty straightforward. Just played on TV. Kind of want to dig deeper on Joker to figure out why he's not on the show anymore. If he left on his own fruition or if he got kicked off.
Well, keep looking. Anything you find, let me know, because you never know what's going to be important and what's not going to be important. Because trust me, there have been some things where just the smallest detail made all of the difference. And we might as well add Lily Baird to that list. But back burner all of that. Well, with maybe the exception of Lily Baird, but back burner most of that. Yeah, and keep a casual eye out. But the thing I want you to focus your efforts on right now is the estates of Calais, uh, Ermageur, and the Berber tribes and their area and the government surrounding them.
Mm,
Those are our top priorities.
nice.
Lily Baird's probably going to be a fairly high priority simply because we're going to rescue her kid, and everything that we need, everything we could possibly know going in is going to be something that well, let's just say we'll put as many check marks in our column as we can before we make a move.
Oh, and
Let's say
Scott.
17 hours of driving. Yeah, that could take a lot of time to do research on her.
Yeah. And actually, Scott, make me a tech plus intelligence roll. Or hacker plus intelligence, my bad. I'm gonna give you all that you know in one bing bam boom general information on all these. Okay? 10, that's a pretty good score, honestly. So yeah, Lily Baird, first and foremost, you have a lot of information on her just because she's a known quantity around Grand Louis Lat. Like she has lived here for a couple years now. She moved here. So here's what you know first off about her criminal record. Cat burglar, not afraid to get her hands dirty. She has a couple charges that her lawyer claimed were spurious of manslaughter. Um, when you look at those court records, they might be onto something. She does have a lot of thievery on her thing, and actually, she's got in Syndicate open warrants at the moment. She also has a marriage license in Syndicate to one Al Baird. Um, Apparently, she is married to this guy named Al, and she has a kid. Her kid's name is Susan Stitch. Did not use the Baird last name. You don't know where the Stitch last name comes from, but it's interesting that a 7-year-old is not using uh, a 7-year-old not using her parents' last name. That's definitely odd, and probably not her choice. But yeah, Lily moved to Saint Grand Louis Lat just about when her bench warrant was issued in Syndicate. Um, it was a warrant for being part of a stick-up crew at a liquor store. Bottom of the barrel stuff. super sloppy. Her guys got caught and got folded. Seemed like she was the reason that they were doing this, like she was the head of this thing. But this was the most small time sort of thing. This was walk in with a couple of guns, steal shit from the till and off the shelves, honestly, really rookie shit, the kind of stuff that thugs cut their teeth on. So how she got in, I mean, the rest of her record looks pretty good. This might hint at desperation. This might hint at trying to give someone else an in. You're not sure, really. But you know that she's got a bench warrant for the guy behind the counter getting plastered by a gun that is expected to be hers. No one folded on the gun, but it didn't have either of the other two cohorts' prints on it. They just said it was her plan. Who shot the guy? We ain't saying. Was it Lily? It wasn't Lily. Okay, well, I guess that's going to extend your sentence. Now, for the more interesting stuff, would you like to hear about the Berber tribes? Would you like to hear about Callier? Or would you like to hear about Armagere first?
And specifically, we need to know.
Callier.
I was going to say we need to know about their estates, who they have living, and who might still have an interest in these gems.
Okay. Callier was a French explorer, as I've told you before, definitely a colonialist. He was a French merchant general who basically went down to northern Africa and Algeria, modern day Algeria, and extorted is the proper word I would use for this. Extorted huge amounts of natural resources. His estate was huge. He retired peacefully after what he would claim as a successful campaign in Algeria. His estate is still living today. A fairly wealthy family, still carrying the Callier name because this was only in the 1700s. So, and it's been patrilineally handed down. It's not a matrilineal situation. There's always been a son. So, the Callier legacy and bloodline is still strong today in a family of private wealthy elites who are currently in just spread across France. The main house is in we'll say that the main house is in, let me roll this real quick. It is currently in Toulouse, France, which is the fourth largest city in France. But yeah, so they own a large estate in the outskirts of Toulouse, several hundred acres, polo club hosted out of there, standard rich people shit. So next we can do Armagere or we can do the Berbers.
Go with armor, and then we'll close with Berber.
Okay. The Armagere or Armagere family is a Swiss family. He was Benito Armagere was one of the greatest gem cutters of his time, so lauded by his peers. Right? He was one of those guys who, oh, you have an Armagere, was the same as saying like, ah, I see, you have like an original Louis Vuitton, right? He was a boutique gem cutter and specialized in museum pieces and very wealthy commissions, right? His estate essentially is not really that important anymore. His company, however, which is Armagere Fineries, which is still in Switzerland today, is actually fairly important, constituting 0.07% of the GDP tax for the country. So not insubstantial for a single business, especially a luxury business. That's pretty big.
So what's the name of the business again? It's Armagere or what?
Armagere Fineries.
Okay.
Yeah. Currently, their big thing that they're working on is they are the big things that they're known for is, first of all, the Swiss Guard at the Swiss Guard at the Vatican. All of them have all of their pendants, buckles, everything like that produced from there. So that's consistent business for them. and that's where they make most of their money. But also, they still to this day are like huge, like luxury producers. Pretty much, if you see somebody with a watch that is covered in just incredibly fine diamonds or other material, he didn't make the watch, but he certainly cut those gems, like that company did, right? Um, that's about their estate right now. They're a large luxury corporation. They're rumored to have their fingers in various other pies. Nothing illegal, but stuff that, corporations don't openly own up to. I am a parent company of this, 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 and this. Oh, and one other
Right.
thing. The Armigère estate is in possession of one Fabergé egg. Just a fun little tidbit. You found that on
Indeed.
Google. Um, Now for the Berbers. The Berber tribes pretty much were blown to the wind. Um, Long time ago, right? Um, you've had one Berber tribe mentioned to you, the Kabylians, which is definitely the group that is most interesting. Most of the other ones have worked on soft political power, have done like some very interesting like legal work, but the Kabylians are a group who have done a few things more than that. In the 80s, they had what was known as the Backpack Revolution, also known as the Berber Spring, um, where basically several students and people posing as students had a armed insurrection and hostage situation, basically saying that Berber culture has been destroyed and like that needs to not be a thing. On top of that, they also recently got the language of Kabyle, which is a Berberian offshoot, recognized as an official language at the same level as Arabic in Algeria, which is like a huge thing because like Algeria doesn't really do much with its government on the small stuff. So this was a big win for them to actually get something pushed through. Um, Currently, the Kabylian nation is registered almost as a pseudo state, similar to the Romani, in the fact that they are a recognized ethno state, essentially, yet they hold no land. It's also similar to how the Kurds are viewed. They're kind of a displaced people, and they're definitely like they are openly stating that they want to make more inroads into governments of their clandestine homelands so that they can represent the Berber like nationality. So that's about what you've learned from all of that. Fun little info dump.
All right.
But yeah, maybe we're kind of looking at all of this and we kind of reel back to the car, right? Everyone's kind of driving in the car. You guys have been driving for about 8 hours. Made like a stop or two. What is everyone's car mannerisms, right? Like everyone has something they do in a long car ride. What does everyone do?
uh, I think Khan spends at least part of the time going over his notes
Yeah.
and contemplating what the next move is. Um, but he also spends a good deal of time sort of like he, uh, normally he'd probably look out the window a lot. Maybe he does this to some extent, but he is
Hmm.
trying to keep a fairly casual eye on everybody that's in the vehicle. Um, as far as it goes, there might be a point where he dozes off to get some sleep because he's probably going to have to take a turn at driving at some point.
Sure, sure.
Uh, you know, but he would make sure that at that point that was a point where there was like most of everybody else was asleep and but there was still at least one other person awake so that we didn't just have one person awake at the whole time.
Yeah, and that person is probably Pamela. Um,
You
Pamela has old person sleep schedules, meaning she sleeps for 4 hours and then is up for 2 days straight. Like, and it's just like what it is.
know.
Um, yeah. What is Mikey's car habits?
Um, like he'll do his little research here and there, and then we find something interesting. Um, he'll make note of it, set it aside. But if it's like really important, he'll text Con about it so that he can,
Yeah.
like the whole thing with Lily Bear. He's
Mhm.
gonna actually send a text message to Con and be like, she has a bench warrant in the city we're going to, just so you know. Um, but other than that, he'll probably play games, do some research,
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
Just chillax.
I like that. Joker. What is Joker's car mannerisms and habits?
Well, right now he's driving.
Right.
Contrary to what you think, this isn't his car,
Mm-hmm.
so he's actually taking it easy.
Right.
I mean, he's speeding the appropriate amount for this side of the country we're on.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got their own rules, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
in LA, it's yeah, the posted is 55, but if you're not doing 80, you're not, getting anywhere.
Right.
That kind of thing. So, yeah,
Right.
he's driving appropriate to the place. He seems pretty confident behind the wheel. When he's
Yeah.
not driving, it'll be taking turns between catnaps and then cleaning weaponry. Um, yeah, especially kind of one of the how do you not lose shit when you're cleaning when you're cleaning a pistol in a moving car?
Yeah.
It's just one of
Oh
those
yeah.
I've had practice kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
He's not talking to anyone really. If anyone tries to engage him, he'll give them a short response. But,
Right.
he's pretty much kind of lost in his own world at the moment.
Right. Yeah, and for their parts, Lily Baird is not great to be in a car with. She's always fidgety and she doesn't smell very good. Um, and this isn't an issue of like, oh, she didn't have time to take a shower. Like you guys stopped at an actual rest stop, Uh, and she didn't even pick up like deodorant or anything. She just doesn't seem to like acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Um, Pamela works on crosswords. Like the first 4 hours of the trip, she's like out, and then the rest of the time she works on crosswords. Um, Bickle is kind of in his book, pretty heavy. Sometimes you can't tell if he's reading or sleeping because he's wearing sunglasses, but he moves not at all. He's like just absolutely motionless except for turning a page essentially, and he takes a long time to turn each page. So like there are moments where you're like, I wonder if Bickle's even awake right now. Um, but yeah. Um,
Yeah,
and
nothing wrong with enjoying a good book and taking your time with it.
oh, amen, amen. Yeah, and it's a Ukrainian book, so you can only imagine what lies between those pages. Could it be a Ukrainian translation of an English book, or some sort of work that has yet to make it to the United States? We may never know.
I
But Bickle
bet you
does.
it's just like the Icelandic translation of Dracula.
Yeah.
The author got bored and said, Dracula's not very good anyways. I can make it better. Let's
Yeah, no,
just
that's
just throw in some extra erotica, all of these extra characters that didn't get used. Let's give them interesting shit. Oh, and by the
yeah.
way, the ending sucked, so let's fix that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, we'll say that you guys get to about, we'll say you're about 3/4 of the way there. No, that's still a little close. You're about half, little over halfway there. It's nighttime. Con, you've volunteered for the night shift, and
Uh,
you know, everyone is roughly asleep. Pamela's in the front seat, keeping you company, navigating when she needs to. Has a little book lamp for her crosswords. And it's quiet, you know. She there's probably about 5-10 minutes of silence, and then she looks over and goes, "So, what's the plan for when we get this kid anyway?"
well, the plan is that we're gonna have to keep the kids safe, obviously, but we the kids the kids are insurance that we get Lily Baird to stay on our side temporarily, at least for the time being. We'll see how long that keeps us going, how long that lasts. Thing is, once we get the kid, I have a feeling that maybe there will be a bit of maybe some of my preparations will be done. If they are, we might be taking a trip out of the country.
Hmm. I mean,
See,
heading
this
out of the. Oh, go ahead.
this thing's a lot bigger than just a few baubles. This, for one thing, these aren't the best diamonds on the market. Sure, the cut's great. The cut's amazing. The cut is primo. But the gems themselves, there's better gems out there. Plainview's got a particular reason, and the fact that we're finding out that there's somebody pretty heavy with some pretty solid moves on there, with some pretty solid, shall we say, logistical support and pretty solid talent that's getting involved in this as well. Given the history of these gems, I'm suspecting it has to do with the history of these gems. There's a guy, see, they come from Africa. They were stolen by a colonial from out of Algeria. Well, stolen may be not the most appropriate word, but it amounts to theft. Basically taking stuff that culturally relevant and of value physically from an impoverished nation and taking it back and, you know, using it as a status thing. Considered the whole thing a complete success. So, my guess is with the level of ability that these people had to come in and just cut your finger off, and the job they did taking on, and from what Mikey and Bickle found at the morgue where the body parts were stolen, I wouldn't put it past being somebody who either has a rather large estate, a large company, or governmental connections.
Pamela's like, right. I mean, we're zoomed out pretty far, but thinking about the now, we're going to take a kid. That's a pretty big offense.
We're
Doesn't
already
matter who we're doing this with.
we're already in this pretty deep, and the feds are already kind of looking into this. I'm still working out the details on how we manage to find ourselves in the breeze at the end of all of this, at least from the federal point of view. But I have some suspicions here. Whoever got to Lily and her finger, had police connections. That's clear. That's super clear.
Hmm.
And this guy that this this Fed that Mikey and Bickle talked about that took charge of the scene there. They mentioned something that was of interest to me. Said there was a moment where they thought their cover was blown, even with the fake credentials they had on hand. That guy is either real sharp for a cop, or he's got a lot more information than for any kind of police officer. Or the feds have been tracking this situation for a while, or he's directly involved somehow himself. I haven't ruled that possibility out either. But my money is that this guy's been tracking this situation for a while. Secretly, this is not where Khan's money is 100% at.
Right.
He's just telling Pamela this because he didn't want Pamela to know how deep his suspicions go about everything.
Right.
And in any case, we get this girl. We already have a bunch of gems we're not supposed to at a value that makes it a federal offense and a pretty serious one at that. Once this Fed, if he's any kind of sharp, he's probably already figured out that the crime scene, the scene that we left behind with the vehicles, could not have been what we tried to pose it as because we didn't finish the job there exactly. So he's probably going to add a whole list of charges for that as well. Probably a few cases of murder, definitely some uh, definitely some conspiracy charges having to do with covering up the crime of murder. And of course, the jewelry thief. We're already in this pretty deep. That's why after we get this kid, our best bet is to find our way to either France or Algeria.
Hmm. Well, I guess I've always wanted to travel. And she kind of smirks at you, and she says, "Now, I do have one question for you, Con.
That being,
What happens when this all catches up to us? I mean, you think that it's not going to, and I hope it doesn't. But when, if and when it does,
oh no,
what happens?"
it's definitely gonna catch up to us. In fact, I'm counting on it. I need for it to catch up to us because we don't get out in the wind until it does. How exactly we're going to manage to finagle our way out into the breeze, that's still a work in progress. I need more information I need more information, and I need to set a few more moves up before I've got that worked out exactly. But don't worry about it. I've already got the beginnings of some ideas. Nothing that would constitute a plan. You plan 2, maybe 3 moves ahead, sometimes 4. But if you try to plan 20 moves ahead, anything that happens in the here and now could upset the whole balance. You
She
want to keep
goes, "Oh,"
mid-range so you can keep some flexibility while still trying to stay ahead of the game.
and she kind of nods as she's like slowly moved back to her crossword, and she's like, "Hmm,
I
right."
have, yeah, I gave her the biggest non-answer I could.
Yeah, no, and
I'm
she,
sure
for
she's
her
aware.
part, she's like looking. She
Yeah.
goes, "Hmm, 10-letter word for believing oneself is greater than it. Egocentric," and like writes that down. And she winks at you. And basically, and like maybe that's kind of where we like cut off there. Um and it is morning. You guys have been driving nonstop except for gas and food. Um Clear up through the night. It is about you guys left at about noon yesterday. It's a 17-hour drive, so it's about 7 in the morning. You see Syndicate city limits, 20 miles, something like that, right? You see the horizon of the fairly unimpressive downtown district in your sights. Everyone's up, everyone's fresh enough. You've all got coffee, or whatever your morning drink is.
Actually, I think we need to probably stop at like a fucking maybe someplace fast food and then stop at a park and just kind of with like giving off the impression that all we're doing is eating some food at a park. That way we don't look
There's Yeah,
terribly
there's
suspicious, but
sure.
there's discussions that we need to have before we go into Syndicate before we get too deep into Syndicate.
Yeah, and we'll say that, like, those like highway McDonald's slash fueling station slash
Right.
trucker rest
e-
stop slash like tiny
Exactly.
community. Yeah, we'll say that like there's one there. It's like it's not a McDonald's though, it's an Arby's. So just worse. But you
Hey, I've never seen
you
an Arby's go out of business. Riddle me that.
I guess. I mean, I've worked at
One
an
on West
Arby's.
Street. That one's
Uh,
not more.
that's true. That's true. Um, but yeah, no.
The
So
one on
you
West Street? What?
Mhm.
The one over at Taft and West Street in Wichita. My first job was at an Arby's over there. I don't think it's there anymore.
Taft. Well, I know there's one on West and Maple.
Mm.
Ask me how I know.
But anyway,
Yeah, I was gonna
um,
say maybe later.
yeah, yeah. So you guys end up at this spot. They take your order. I'm assuming that Jesta gets the mountain of meat fucking thing.
Yeah.
Big
Oh, yeah.
Montana.
Con
Something,
does.
something big, something big and sloppy and just like almost something big, sloppy, and almost offensive to watch somebody eat.
Oh yeah, that's the meat mountain. You know how long it takes to assemble one of those?
Big
Takes about a
Montana.
minute. It takes about a minute. You know how much it takes to assemble any other sandwich? About 5 seconds. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. And well.
yeah, it's those things are ridiculous.
Joker's order:
Uh-huh.
large Jamocha shake.
Hell yeah. That's it. Just a Jamocha shake.
Yes.
Yeah, for her part, Pamela says, "Oh, I'm watching my figure, but I suppose I can fudge a little bit," and gets a large potato cakes and an Arby's beef and cheddar.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have the barbecue in it this time? Is it that
Oh hell yeah.
time of
Yeah.
year?
Why not? Sure.
so so yeah, like maybe while we're
Oh, and
like
Bickle eats a cigarette.
eats a
You know,
cigarette.
Yeah.
that sounds
You know
like
how
Bickle.
it goes. He has a cigarette for lunch.
And then three
Probably
for
half
dinner.
a pack actually. He hasn't been smoking this whole time they've been driving, except for
Oh,
like
thank you.
small breaks.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
I
very inconsiderate. Sorry. No, to do that while people are driving. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. So that's why he doesn't.
while
yeah.
we were kind of stopped and doing this thing, obviously out of earshot of other people or what have you,
Sure, you guys go to the farthest booth in the corner.
Khan would probably bring up a couple of points and be like, "There's a few things we need to discuss before we get into town. One, we're going to need to work quickly. Once we get in, we need to immediately assess where we need to be going and what we need to be doing. That means, Lily, we're going to need every bit of information on your kid and where your kid is and what the situation is that we can get before we go in. We also are going to need we're also going to need we're also going to need to come up with some kind of disguise for you because you got a warrant here.
She
So
she says it's probably best if I just stay in the car for this one.
yeah, well, you're still probably going to need some kind of disguise. People can look through windows.
And she shrugs and goes, "Whatever you say."
Like,
And Pamela's totally just like makeover, like very sarcastically.
we're going to need to do something to make sure that you're discreet. We need to know everything there is to know. A bit of a
Joker actually pipes up at this one. You give me 15 minutes, it'll look like you hardly ever recognized her.
Pamela's like, "Oh, can I help? I've always loved doing other people's eyeliner. It's such an amount of trust. You could just poke it right in their eye and they'd not be able to stop you. I
just
wouldn't do that though."
that's very reassuring, I'm sure. Um, but yeah, so perhaps, and once we're done with it, and once we've got the kid, I'm gonna have to make a couple of phone calls and see where we're at here. We are, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the middle of a much bigger situation than we initially thought. And our next move, well, I'm going to keep this one a little bit close to my vest here. But suffice it to say, we might be going one of a couple of different places at this out of country. Because there's a big history behind these gyms, and there's a big history, and there's a lot of very, very well funded, well informed individuals involved in this. And I'm real interested to see whether Plainview's agents turn up in France or in Algeria. Because we know he still did hire Lily and her crew to set us up and steal the gyms. We haven't
Yeah,
lost
and Lily
track
just
of
like
that.
shrugs with a mouthful of curly fries.
We haven't lost track of that for even a second.
Hope you're willing to pay for some identification.
And he says, "We're we'll see about that. We'll look at. I'm looking into it.
Well,
Let's
let's
say,
just say, without one of those, you're not getting me out of this country. I'm
yeah,
on a
well,
couple lists. At
I'm
least,
pretty sure most of us are on at least one list somewhere for something.
I
So,
was gonna say, at least an alias or two of mine is on a list.
Yeah, and maybe like as you guys are having this conversation, just in the background, like going through the line, like two highway patrolmen are like getting their food. Just as kind of like one of those juxtaposition shots.
Joker's gonna try and put himself between them and Lily.
Yeah.
and I think
And,
this,
yeah.
yeah, and I think this is probably a point where Khan probably has like probably looks around and goes, "We might want to start making ourselves a little bit scarce." The family, you think you can? You think you can get Lily out a window in the women's room?
Well, I'm sure I can. I've done it before, but I mean, they're currently at the register just getting food. I'm sure that I can just get us out that way.
Joker takes
She
his
like kind of
hat
smiles.
off and gives it to Lily.
Yeah,
No instructions.
yeah. She like puts it on and she's like, "It's warm. That's weird." And she like kind of like starts to get up, and Pamela is like, "Oh, I would more than happily come with you, hun," and like starts walking her like linked arms sort of thing.
Yep.
They get by the cops literally no problem. Like the cops are like busy like getting like their fucking Arby's meal or whatever.
I think like
They're on break. They don't care.
Yeah. No,
yeah,
they don't give a shit. I mean, like they're not looking for crime right now. They're looking
yeah,
for Arby's. They got the meats.
yeah. We're probably going to uh we'll probably take a couple more take an extra minute or two before we get up and leave, just kind of not draw attention to it, you
Yeah.
but yeah, probably not good to be discussing our crime plans with hypos in the
Mhm.
restaurant with us.
Mhm.
You never
Yeah.
know. Body cam footage.
Yeah, right.
It'll pick up things
Um
that an officer would never normally hear.
oh yeah. Um
Exactly.
yeah. And as you're kind of walking out, who's bringing up the rear?
Ah, might as well be Joker, I guess.
Okay. You guys are walking out and kind of like uh as you guys are walking out, you're seeing like a group of like dudes in like a really nice like Bentley. Um like get out. There's four of them. Two of them have a briefcase, and one of them accidentally bumps into you, Joker, as he's like going into the building.
I mean,
He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and like just continues to walk in the building. But
uh,
like, yeah.
well, immediately, first things first, he's gonna check to make sure nothing was just ripped off him.
Yeah, you
Wallet,
check around.
keys, wallet,
Yeah,
keys, firearm.
Mhm.
Nah, he wouldn't have taken that into an Arby's. He's not that dumb.
No.
But,
Sir, this is the Wendy's. Yeah. No, yeah, like no, nothing's taken off of you.
Second thing, all right. Let's get a better look at these guys.
Okay.
What do I need
You
to roll?
make me an alertness, and you know what? I think intelligence would work for this one.
Oh boy. Uh, alertness, intelligence, huh?
Yeah, and you can actually add in the spotlight to that.
Can do. All right. What is today gonna be like, ladies and gents?
Good question.
Ones. Oh.
Nice. Yeah, you fucking notice everything about these guys. All four of these guys are like pretty clearly not American. You like first of all the accent tipped you off, but it's in the way that they walk, the way that they're kind of moving around. They're very orderly and they're like very like prim and proper. Second
Okay.
thing you notice,
Go
huh? Second thing you notice, all of these guys are wearing Armani suits. And not like the, oh, I bought Armani off the rack. like I bought Armani
Tailored.
from Armani. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you would know that even just from your time in show business,
Oh,
right?
sure.
Like I'm sure made men even at times like were interrupting your show running just to be like, all right, we need to run a couple $100 through the production like costs of this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so like you've seen this. Suitcases, heavier duty locks than you would normally expect. These are like legit. Like you as an arms dealer, you've moved with cases that are clearly hard cases under leather. These are hard cases under leather. So they got something in there that they don't want rattling around, and this case was probably custom cut for. Important. And the last thing you notice, all of them are pretty old except for one young guy.
Any of them
The
packing?
young guy seemed to be like walking in the front, held the door for all of them, that sort of thing. Seems to be there. And like as you're looking back, you see that he seems to be ordering for the full group, you know? And one of the guys, as you're kind of looking, kind of like catches you out of the corner of his eye and he just kind of nods at you and then like goes back to what he was doing.
Okay, so first question. They're not from the US, very clearly. Where the hell are they from?
You're not sure if you had to guess on that accent, somewhere in a Germanic zone of some variety.
Alright, where's the BMW?
Bentley. And it's like
Hmm.
right in front. It's actually parked in the handicap space, and it does have a handicap sticker on it.
Yeah, Joker is gonna try and memorize the plates. First off, what kind of plates are these?
These are rental plates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But they're like luxury rental plates. So like this, it actually says the car company on it, and like I'm not gonna come up with a car company because it doesn't matter for the plot, but we'll
Right.
just say it's like a luxury car rental place, like the kind of place where you're like, oh shit, those cars come with the insurance without you buying the extra package, like one of those things.
right. So he'll, follow up to the car and then
Mhm.
say, "What do you think of our 4 marks? They're
Mm.
trouble, I'll give you that much."
Do I need to roll anything to take a look at them and get a?
Joker would explain what he saw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
4
yeah.
businessmen, Armani. Those cases are not briefcases. Whatever they've got, it's worth keeping secure. Young kid, probably security.
And young kid would still be like 40, but these guys are like 70.
Oh,
16,
well, yeah, but
70s.
I mean, Joker's, yeah, to him that's a kid.
Right, right.
Yeah, young
Mm.
kid, probably security. Other one, well, they could be businessmen, but considering the hell of a week we had, I don't believe in coincidences much anymore.
It's
Yeah,
a plate
well-
number. I can trace it back to
Oh yeah,
the.
he memorized the plates as he was walking over to you guys.
Absolutely.
He's like,
Would you like
well,
to
I
make
wouldn't hold
me-
my breath too much. It's a rental company.
I
would
know,
you
but
like-
they still have to sign their name on the rental agreement and what their country of origin is and all that BS.
Yeah. Would you like
I'm
to
really
actually make?
interested- Yeah, I'm real interested to know where they come from.
Would you like to make me a role of some variety? Probably a hacker intelligence role. And actually,
Why don't you use professional on that?
yeah, I was gonna say add consummate professional onto that.
Let's-
That is very much that wheelhouse.
Especially being that you went straight for. You were like, no, I don't necessarily need to know that the plates are registered to them. I need to know who signed the paperwork to rent the car.
Okay. So you have so you're looking through the plates and you get in the directory. You can see that these plates are linked back to the airport out of Albany, right? I forget which one Albany is. No, they're through JFK. They're through JFK's car rental service, right? So car has apparently been rented for like 3 days so far. And the last thing you notice about it is that the name that it's signed under is a corporate lease. It's on the Ermiger Fineries corporate lease.
I knew it. Huh.
But as you're starting to search through this, the firewall blocks you out to get any further information.
Well, I got basic before I got blocked, but yeah, they're with the Ermiger group.
Actually, at that, Joker does kind of widen his eyes a little bit. He says, "Then I'll bet you we're made." How secure were those gems, did you say, Bickle?
No one except for me is ever going to find them, and that's a
Well,
guarantee.
then one of
I'm
two
good at
things is
making. Oh, go ahead.
then one of two things is happening. Those cases are empty, and they suspect that either we have them on us, or they're going to beat you to find out, or B, they've got some with them, and at that case, I don't know.
My guess is, given the age of most of the entourage there, these aren't necessarily the people that are going to beat us. These are the people going to hire people to beat us. Chances are very good that this team or that this group of people are the ones that hired the crew that stole the body parts from the morgue and have been on our asses. Here's the problem we have. I'd love to make a move on him here, but we got Johnny Law in there. No way we can make a move, right? And we've got a hot ticket right here. Look at Lily Baird. Can't make a move here, but let's see it. But maybe we can shadow them and see where they go. He goes. He's like,
Actually, I kind of look at Mikey. You have a way to just tag the car so we can track it?
I'd have to hack into the onboard computer of the car itself, and then I could probably put a little tracer underneath the coding. Um, that would take a few minutes to put it in, but if I could hack into the onboard computer, hopefully I don't have to do a direct line because that's even more complex. But maybe if there's a wireless signal I can tap into, hopefully, might be possible.
Would you like to make me another hacker intelligence roll? All right. 13 is not bad at all. You can determine that the car has onboard Wi-Fi through data through CDMA. You do determine as well, however, that you would need to get a physical hookup into the onboard USB-A port to actually like track the car.
Yeah, we don't have the time nor the resources for that.
Yeah, because there's probably a security on the car itself. Getting into it would set off an alarm and alert the cops inside and the other people. So
Oh,
here's
Joker
something
would
else.
probably snort, and getting into the car without setting off the alarm is no problem. It's the cops sitting inside that are.
Yeah, let's take this one and let's think about it logically. They've got the car rented for 3 days. That means we know where they'll be in 3 days.
No, they've already rented it for 3 days.
Right.
So
But
that's
but then they have to return it
oh
at
yeah, yeah.
the contract
Exactly.
back
Right,
to the
right.
airport rental company.
We know where they'll be in. We know where they will be in 3 days' time, or at least somebody connected to them will have to return that vehicle in some way, shape, or form. So I'm guessing that our best bet is we need to continue with our current objective: mm, rescue rescue Lily's kid, and try to keep an eye out for any movements that Ermisher's people are making here. Kind of low key in the background, we might want to find out if Ermisher has if Ermiger has any particular contacts that they're going that they might utilize in this area. Anything we can find out about what their how they're set up in this country, in America, specifically how they're set up in Syndicate, New York, and back home, and then probably back home for them as well.
Wouldn't be
But
surprised if they had
first,
something in the Diamond District in Manhattan, but that doesn't help us now.
no, but it could down the road.
Just knowing that, Diamond District is. If you want diamonds in New York, you go to the Diamond District.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's the Tiffany store right there.
Right.
Like,
Oh, I'm
like everywhere else proliferates around it. Yeah, yeah.
right, but just because they're in the gym business doesn't mean that they're associated with everyone else that
No,
is.
sure,
We want
sure.
to know who their specific contacts are, who they would specifically be doing business with, and more to the point, do they have any friendly allies that don't operate in a business that is directly involved with gym cutting? Somebody that they would not have as strong of as strong of a legitimate reason to be, making taking meetings with, and just kind of find out. Basically, looking for anything that could be anomalous, anything that could lead to where they're going to be, where they're at, who's working with them, anyone that we could potentially squeeze for information, that we could potentially track down and squeeze for information or investigate. Like, we need to have a background investigation going on what the Ermisher people are doing here.
Mm.
So, and where was Ermisher based out of again? Like the
Swiss.
yeah, I know Switzerland, but did we find out what city?
Good question. Swiss Swiss cities. Hold on a second.
I mean, the country as a whole isn't that huge.
Yeah, they're actually out of we'll say they're out of Montreux. A smaller vacationy kind of community. It's just where it makes sense to set up their primary shop and manufactory anyway. So Montreux. There we go. So yeah. That's kind of like one of those Swiss Alpsy, like, oh, we have a train that goes up the mountain kind of thing. So yeah.
All right.
Okay, so while you guys go get the kid, I can stay in the car with Lily Bear and be on my computer and gather the information about if they have contacts here in America, where they're at, and all that information you want about the company here in the United States.
At the end of the day, I'm just here to kick shit. So doesn't matter to me.
That could be the door.
Yeah.
Kick the door in.
And we're gonna
Someone's face?
we're gonna have to get Lily to give us details on where the kid's at,
Yeah.
what she
And
knows about the situation.
maybe at this point, Pamela's like, well, we're only a little bit outside of Syndicate, maybe 20, 30 minutes from a destination. So maybe we can fill in the details there, pull down a side street if we need to discuss anything further. Those guys kind of gave me the heebie jeebies.
Yeah, well, something tells me that they're not going to, or that's not the last we're gonna see of them.
Did I
Although,
mention it feels like I was made?
you did mention that, and the fact that they're here at all and happen to be in the same place as us at this time. Yeah, that's not a coincidence. They've got information.
So who's tipping him off? That's a conversation for the car. Let's go.
Yeah, and I think Khan goes, tell you what, and he kind of looks around the room and kind of gives it the like around everybody and kind of trying to give the impression that um that trying to give everybody individually the impression he suspects them while giving the overall impression that it doesn't look like he suspects anyone in specific. In other words, he's just like some special tick that might set each one of them to being like,
Yeah,
you suspect me, and fucking I don't have to work that hard with Pamela because I've already set that up to begin with.
yeah, no. Bickle, whenever you shoot him a glance, he shoots the glance right back at you and says, "I'll drive." And he hops up into the front seat.
Yeah.
um and yeah, he starts the car and he starts heading. So yeah, you guys are getting into Syndicate, and Lily explains the situation. So Lily has a bench warrant for what she just explains as a unprofessional indiscretion. And once that bench warrant came up, her husband, Al, and her figured it would probably be best if Lily skipped town, um, and if Susan stayed with her grandparents, who are the Stitches.
That's the biggest travesty. Who names a kid Susan these days?
And she like looks at you with like just kind of like, well, first of all, it wasn't my idea. It was
I was
Al's.
joking. I was joking.
And
Trying to
second
lighten
of
the
all,
mood
it's a
here.
lovely name.
I agree. I'm just joking.
Yeah, and
So,
she
does that mean your maiden name is Stitches? Is that what I'm getting here?
Stitch,
Stitch
but
River.
and it's not spelled like stitch as in like sewing a stitch. There's no T. It's Stich. It's German. Technically, it's Steak, but you know how Ellis Island apparently was, or so I'm told.
Right. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah,
Go back to my research.
yeah.
Like, what do you know about who's watching them and how and where? Did they give you? How do you know somebody's watching them? And do you know anything further about where they might be and who and what they might be doing?
All they did was they said Susan and then gave me the address to my parents. That's all I know.
Interesting. All right. Well, since we're going to have to work quickly, and since I have a feeling that after we're done with this particular thing, we might be taking another trip, Joker, turn over every scumbag rock you can find. We need to know who's watching the place. We need to see what we can't find out about anybody that's been hired for a job like this. Mikey, we might want to find out if any of the houses in the neighborhood were recently up on the market and then bought. And if so, who bought them? Have, and further, anything we can find out about anybody who did buy them. It stands to reason anybody that they're going to have watching is going to be real close by. So we need to know where. That means we need to know who and where. That means local underworld, shake them up and figure out what we can find out about who might have taken this job. And on the legit front and on the more high end front, find out who's bought houses in the neighborhood, who has recently started renting a house in the neighborhood that wasn't before. We need
Or which houses are
how long?
empty.
And which houses are empty. That goes without saying. Anything that's gone up on the market. Lily, is there you have any idea how long they've had somebody watching?
I
How long ago did they give you the threat?
I mean, it was 2-3 days ago. I mean, that's how long I was in there.
So it wasn't so it was the whoever cut your finger off that gave you the warning.
Yeah, they
Okay.
they yeah.
So it seems
So, in the last 6 months or something like that, I would think.
that connects the dots because I considering that this person threatened you to not talk about to not talk what have you, likely was somebody working with Plainview, which means Plainview has connections within the police department. It also connects a few other dots here because if you as you stated, your job was set up in advance, like you guys were working that angle for several weeks, correct?
Um, which one? Oh yeah, yeah. She's like, yeah. I mean, it was months. It was 3 months that we embedded ourselves in this place.
So I'd say we're going to need to go back at least 3 months in the neighborhood, in the neighborhood's properties, listings, and what have you. Find
You
out what's
know,
been sold, what's been bought, what's been rented, what's sitting empty, and anything we can know about, we can find out about any new arrivals.
you
Because
know
if
what's
I was going to put anything in place to make sure anything like that in place, I'd make sure I'd had it in on the ground floor before anything ever came, before there was a threat of squealing.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my 6 month mark then, cause yeah.
you know what's been bothering me about that?
What's that?
Well, we're on that topic. Okay, remind me, Mike. How
Yeah.
much warning in advance did we have to plan this job?
I mean, like 2, 3 days. I think it was. I
Okay.
think it was 3 days.
Yeah, when
Why
we're put up,
stick somebody on something for months and then throw us on it for 3 days? Did you guys
because
have any contact with Plainview before or during the mission at all?
Uh, well, were you talking to Lily?
Yeah.
She's like, well, we got the job from him, and uh, we basically got a single tape. I mean, we'd worked a couple angles for him before, nothing with any of these, the Adamus Karif. I mean, that was the first time we've done these. And sounds like you guys have more of an endemic relationship with him. But no, we got one tape before this job, basically explaining the situation, how these were Berber diamonds that were an important part of history, and how he wanted to make sure he had, and how he wanted these. And that was about all we really got.
So was he just mad that you guys had given him zero to look for in 3 months?
I
no,
mean,
no, I think he wanted to set us up.
It
That
doesn't
was
make any
Lily's
sense.
plan.
Why? We haven't done anything to him in the first place.
Cover his tracks. Same thing we do. We
Okay, and
frame
he
up.
could have done that without two teams. He could have done it any hundreds of ways. Why this way?
hell, he could have told me to kill all of you, then pin it on me.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. A living, pri- a living, a living suspect, especially one protesting their innocence, is worth a lot of dead bodies in the ground. In other
But
words, in other words, he probably intended to use them to steal the gems the whole time, set us up as the patsies. That way, nobody would look too much further. The entire logic is you want the authorities to catch someone, because once they catch someone, they close the case.
I'm
They
trying to say, why this group? We had already done one job for him just fine with the Adamas. And this other group hadn't done anything with them.
However, she said they'd done a couple of jobs for him, nothing involving the Karif before. And for the record, we all know the first job we got was nothing but a warm up.
I still think there's way too many coincidences there for that to be what we end our investigation on there.
Oh, I
I
never said we ended our investigation on anything.
But you've
There's
already sound like you've got your mind made up. That's how it happened.
yeah, well, that's the leading theory. There's a difference between a leading theory and a case closed.
With you, I can hardly tell the difference. And
Yeah.
with that, he probably kicks open the door. All right, let's see what I can find.
yeah, and yeah, you guys are. So where did you want to go here in Syndicate? Did you want to go to the address? Did you want to go a few blocks out, city center? What'd you want to do?
Well, I think what we need to do is we need to find a place where we can lay low
Mm-hmm.
and then operate from there. We're probably going to want to put somebody on watching the neighborhood, but I'm hesitant about that because it's real easy to get made there. I'm going to function as a information hub. As everybody finds out things, then send it back to me, and I can spread the information and figure the next move and what have you. But
Let's go to
Mikey's
a
gonna.
computer cafe.
I
This
was
will be
gonna say
fun.
Mikey needs somewhere where he can work. So, but we
Yeah,
also need some place where we can keep Lily discreet. Also, uh,
Bickle flips out his cell phone and is like, "Give me a couple calls. Ukraine's kind of everywhere, and New York is no different." And like starts like making a phone call.
yeah. All right. Once we have it settled where we're at, where we're going to be at, then it's going to be definitely a thing where we start hitting off on our individual things.
Yeah.
Um,
Um. You guys. You guys get set up in a Roach Motel. But it's a safe Roach Motel. Uh. Not run by Ukrainians, run by Armenians, but Bickle has contacts throughout all of the Balkan and so ex-Soviet states.
right.
But yeah, so you guys are set up in this Roach Motel. You're guaranteed, actually, like they have, like maybe there's like a short scene where Bickle's like, "Don't worry, they keep Overwatch. For your safety, I'll tell you a couple. That guy right there is Boris. He carries a shotgun at all times. You notice that big gut? Part of it is fanny pack. Easily unfoldable SPAS 12 special model. And then that guy up there, you probably didn't notice him. That's Sergey. He's just sitting Overwatch, but he's pretty damn good. And notice all the cameras in the lobby? That would happen to be Dmitri, and they call him the Watcher around here, apparently."
Excellent. Bickle, for the time being, I'll have you stick with me, keep an eye
Hmm.
on Lily. Mikey, you're going to have to go get some research done. Joker, we're on a real short time frame. You can be a little messy if you want. Just make sure you get the speed is more important than finesse. The faster you get the name, the less I care how messy it is. The faster you get the information, the less I care how messy it gets.
Can I have access to the cameras at the hotel so that I could have a feed on that to see if who comes through and if any of them from that one group show up here?
Right?
They say, it will, and like, maybe like, the guy who's just been kind of sitting there at the front desk is like, "Yeah, well, we can give you, uh, you're not going to record anything, no?"
No, I just want to observe what the camera's already capturing so that I can pinpoint specific people, as that's on my separate window from this window where I'm actually working and
Yeah, and
all windows.
he's like, "I'll do you one better. I can't give you network access to the cameras, but if you want to work in the Iron Room, you're more than welcome to sit next to Dmitri."
That works.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Maybe we get a scene of you getting taken to this quote unquote Iron Room, and you hear like you see this dude sitting there staring at the cameras with like a big fucking like pile of cigarettes in an ashtray, and like you hear like hard bass coming from these like knockoff ear pods, like and like they fucking like tap on the door, and dude turns around. He's got greasy hair and a fucking greasy smile. Takes out one of the things, and he's like, "Eh," and says something to him in Armenian, and then looks at you and goes, "Doesn't speak English except a little. Just mind your business, who minds his, eh?"
Perfect. It works perfect.
Yeah,
Not talk to nobody while I can do my work, see
yeah.
what I need to.
And
Perfection.
you see, by the way, on these cameras, you get like your normal surveillance, and then also there's definitely room cameras and bathroom cameras and hidden cameras. This is a sleazy operation.
Well, it's kind of what we're gonna have to work with.
I just want to expose you to the realities of the organized crime that you're at. You know.
No, we're,
Yeah.
we're aware.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But no, yeah. So you get set up. Joker, what are you going to do to get your information?
Um. Well, let's see here. Joker's not really been a New York person, at least not recently.
Right.
So that being said, he doesn't have a bunch of personal connections.
Yeah.
But
And again, treat Syndicate like treat it like you would treat I'm trying to
Well,
think of a place close.
I was gonna say,
Hutchison.
there are definitely parts of town.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there are definitely
I
parts
can
of
knock
town.
around certain parts of town and something will fall loose.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Exactly.
in Syndicate, you know that they're like just from like Google Maps, even, which is just weird. You can do this with any city actually, and pretty much find out where the different like kind of poorer areas of town are. Um, you know that their like east side is pretty poor. And you also know that there's a pocket in their south side that is like that's kind of like an immigranty kind of area that is also very poor.
Which one is closer to the house?
To the house, east side. They kind of are in like a modest house that like is between. It's one of those like it's not in a bad neighborhood, but 2 blocks over is a bad neighborhood sort of place.
Sure. Well, what's closer, east side, south side?
East side,
Okay,
definitely.
yeah,
East
we'll
side.
hit east side.
Okay.
Plus, the immigrants are more likely to just kind of steer clear of this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah.
the trouble you do find there is going to be of a different variety.
Right, right. It's not going to be related to your crime, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So you head on over to the east side, and like, how deep east are you go? Are you like going like full like we're in the bad part of town, or
Oh, fuck yeah.
okay, yeah. You roll up. It's probably like something, something like you're rolling down the street. This place is like an old warehouse district that got retrofitted into duplexes, and like there's a big apartment building at the end of the street. You see all sorts of people just like out and about. It's a kind of hot day for the north.
Sure.
For you, it's pretty moderate. It's like about 70. But for them, you've got people who are like basketball shorts, shirt off, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You see dudes hustling drugs on the side of the corner, shit like that, like open shit. Like this is the part of town where it's like open crime is happening and no one really gives a fuck.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Joker would have some insight on this, but
Sure.
trying to get into the mindset of, okay, if I were gonna hire someone to watch a house like this, who would I be hiring? And it's not going to be the drug peddlers. It's going to be a very specific kind of person.
Yeah.
And trying to maybe pinpoint someone who either is a rat that you can just tell, okay, this person's job is to know things, and you usually see them not, well, just being the neighborhood watch more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Either looking for one of them or looking for somebody who looks like he's slightly more important than your average street thug.
Yeah.
One of those,
Um,
oh, this guy's job is to, boss other people around, which means he has to know something. Maybe
make
not
me a
about my thing, but something.
yeah. Make me a thug plus intelligence, or a hitter plus intelligence. Blah, blah. This is kind of like your mercenary role almost.
Yep. Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. Not bad. Yeah, so you're kind of looking around and like maybe you sit in this block for like I don't know, like half an hour, you know.
Enough for
Um
somebody to notice.
yeah, exactly. And, like you have a couple people who like come up, like one dude tries to like hustle crack to you and you're just like, "Nah, you know."
Nah, fuck off.
Yeah, you get like a lady who comes up and is like looking for a good time sort of thing.
She
Um
might be, but I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. And then maybe kind of as you're sitting there, you notice that there's a dude. He's pretty well dressed. I mean, he's dressed down, but well dressed. He's got like obviously a really nice clean sleeveless tee. He's wearing really like breathable sweats, like the kind that like you buy at a sports store, like track pants, but like nice track pants.
Right.
And the thing that really tips you off is this dude has the cleanest, fucking whitest sneakers you have ever seen in your life.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like
Okay.
just looking at it, you're like, oh shit. Yeah, no, those are $400 shoes right there.
Yeah.
And he's just chilling. And maybe you notice at some point the dude who was like trying to hustle drugs to you like comes up to him and like says a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and dude like takes a drink out of his glass and then he opens the door kind of behind him and says a couple things and two real big dudes come out, right?
Oh, well,
Like
that's
these
too
dudes look
bad.
rough, right? Like one of them comes up to your car
Mhm.
on one side, the other comes to the other side, and
Doors are
this
locked,
first
by
dude,
the way.
oh, of course, he knocks on your window. He's got like prison tats, like you can tell by his tats where he's been. Like this is a resume on his arm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And yeah, he knocks on your window.
Roll down just enough to get words out. Don't say anything, though.
Eh,
Let him
He
make the
goes-
first move.
yeah, he goes, "You scouting for Girl Scout cookies or something?"
That's a good one. Your boss over there tell you to say that? Or do you think of that one all on your own?
Says, "Nah, I'm a particular motherfucker. I'm a little clever."
Oh, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Then maybe you could figure out why I'm here.
Goes, "Why the fuck you think I'm over here?"
Need some info.
Huh. And he like looks you up and down, looks at the SUV you're in, and is like, "What? You gonna bring it to the PTA meeting?"
Oh, you're careful. I give you that. Of course, the lady who owns this car won't be too happy you said that.
He goes, you driving your old lady's car around?"
Nah, your mom's.
He like the other dude on the other side's like, "Oh, he got jokes. Oh, he got jokes." Like,
Yeah, they call me Joker. What up, fool?
yeah, and he like starts like scratching his stomach, and like obviously it's the thing to lift up his shirt so you see
Yeah.
he's got a piece, and he's like, "You want to take a walk with me? Got a guy who might be able to talk to you."
uh, They don't fucking know what's in for them. I love
No,
this.
they don't.
He's gonna start playing the fool, like, oh, okay, you know somebody? Great. Just what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
He will, open the door. Well, yeah, I'm trying to think of the right way to do that. Wait until he
Mhm.
backs off from the door, hopefully.
Oh yeah, no, he takes a step back, like does one of those like very exaggerated, like go on kind of like motions.
Yeah, open the door, shut it, lock it, pocket the keys.
Yeah, and like you close the door, you turn around, and he's trying to sucker punch you. Would you like to make a
Oh.
hitter plus strength
Yes.
or hitter plus agility, one of the two?
All right. Can I throw the Krav Maga Savant on there?
Absolutely. This is a man trying to attack you, and Krav Maga is all about they're attacking me right now to time to redirect that.
That didn't roll. Oh,
There we
shit.
go. So let me roll for him.
That's a 13, which is good and bad because now there's a fucking complication, though.
Yeah, right? Dang.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So,
nice.
okay, here's how this goes down. He throws a punch on you, you grab his arm and pop his elbow the wrong way, and he backs up like, oh shit, like he's like, ah, motherfucker. And the other dude, maybe you don't notice until it's too late. The other dude rolls over the car and just like punches you in the back of the neck. And you're just like, oh fuck, like your equilibrium is like off out of nowhere. Make
Okay.
me another one of those hitter plus strength or agility rolls. But this time no
if we're
Krav
gonna-
Maga Savant. You're thrown off.
Okay, so hit plus strength. Okay, so that'd
Yeah.
be 2d10.
What about borderline psychotic?
Not
That is
yet.
totally something you could throw on there.
All right.
Would you like to throw on borderline psychotic?
Yeah, because I'm tired of fucking rolling ones.
Mm-hmm.
My God. All right.
Okay, that cancels it out, and that's an 18. That's a 17. Hell fucking yeah. How do you
Yay.
go borderline psychotic on this other guy?
You shouldn't have done that. I'm going to take that arm, and now it's got a new elbow.
Oh, Jesus.
Nice.
Yeah, and do you seem just utterly calm? Are you in a frenzy? What is
Oh,
this
he's got a
like?
smile on his
Yeah.
face.
He's got a big smile.
He's just got a
Okay.
big smile. You shouldn't have done that, son. Yeah, he's
Boom.
got a new
Ah!
elbow.
Yeah. Fucking and like the other dude pulls out a gun and he kind of turns around and he's like hunched over and he pulls out a gun and you hear from across the street, whoa. Hold up. And like this dude gets up and he kind of stretches and he says, and he's got like a hand cannon at his side right now. He's got a fucking, we'll say it's a 50 Deagle, right?
I gotcha.
Like
Yeah.
some shit that like, yeah, that's firepower. And he's like, this guy is not a cop, obviously. And
No.
like,
What was your first clue? The greasy hair or your friend on the floor here?
listen, anybody can put grease in their hair and not shower, hombre. But most cops don't bust people's arms in some direction. You're either Fed, Army, or you're one bad motherfucker.
Just a guy
Probably all
looking for
three.
some info.
Yeah. You says, shit, man. So you had to say. And he fucking smiles as if that wasn't just the dumbest shit. And then just like nods towards the house he was sitting at.
Finally.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
and,
Yeah, he
Oh, go
hasn't
ahead.
even taken the gun out of his waistband in the back.
yeah.
He
And
just decides now is not the time for jokes.
oh, for sure. And you notice as this is happening, oh shit, this whole street's fucking empty. Like there
Oh,
were
yeah.
kids playing on this street literally 5 minutes ago. They're all gone. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Ms. Laura, these two had an accident moving my couch. And like a woman kind of like leans out the door and just kind of like, yeah, you got it, and fucking gathers them up into a fucking car. But yeah, so you get into this dude's house, and this dude, for the absolute destitution around him, even the outside of his house looks super rough. The inside of his house is clean. It is like white carpet without a single stain, and like white couches with red accents everywhere. Big flat screen with like PlayStation 5, Xbox, what's Xbox One X?
X.
Fucking
The Xbox
like
X. Oh, he got both
yeah,
of them?
yeah,
Mother-
and he's even got a Nintendo Switch
course
fucking
he
hooked
does.
up to the TV, big fucking stereo system, uh, that sort of thing. And he sits you down. He goes, "What you drink, fool?"
Oh, I'm just fine. Thank you.
Nods, says, "I, let's get to business. What you need?"
I happen to know that there are some interesting characters in town that happen to be focusing on an interesting house in town. I need to know I need to know the local they hired so they could set up security.
He thinks for a second. He goes, "I'm gonna need you to be a little bit more clear. What house? What people? I'm not talking code language here. You came here to ask me questions. Ask them."
All right, fine. He'd give the address. He'd give the address of the house,
Yeah.
because he's fully expecting this guy to not walk away from this conversation. Just
Right,
being
right.
honest.
Yeah.
Give the address of the house, and well, some big players have decided that they want to keep eyes on a little girl, threaten the mother of that little girl with that little girl's life, as long as the mother, well, I guess to buy her silence. So, we're with the little girl. I just need to know if there are any regulars or any locals playing in the game,
Mm.
so we can either tell them to steer clear or, well, well, you know.
Yeah, and he thinks for a second. He goes, yeah, that address. They try to tap my boys for it. I don't
Oh,
know
come
who
on.
they were. They were coming in trying to spout some Afrocentrism, thinking that that was hip. It's not. They were trying to say some shit about how this is important, this is a cause. But I mean,
Who's
I've heard
they?
motherfuckers with a cause before. Um, oh, some motherfuckers. I mean, they just basically said, "Hey, we need full security. Ask for a full fucking suite." I said that we ain't got shit for that. They tried to pay me, but fucking they said, "Oh no, but the payment's gonna clear in like a month." That's not how this works. I mean, you know that.
Of course.
And he says, "What it boils down to," I told him no. "I know the house you're talking about. I know why. I mean, not why, but I know where they are looking at. I'm familiar. But to be honest with you, only shit I know is that these guys were very clearly not from here, and they didn't know how biz works out here."
Anybody dumb enough to work for people like that? Here in town, at
Mm,
least.
shit. Maybe some jobbers. I mean, like, nobody I fucking know around here. I mean, if you're looking for real people who are gonna do anything, who are desperate, fuck. If you're not coming through us, you're probably going through the fucking slums looking for anybody who's looking for another hit.
So, at the end of the day, nobody on your payroll, no one you care about?
Far as I know, no.
Alright. That works
Desperate.
for me. What's that?
Mm-hmm.
What was
Just
that,
thinking
Justin?
about how desperate it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, we didn't talk about this.
Nope. No, we didn't. My guys got hurt by a couch moving incident.
Yeah, that sucks. Hopefully they'll be back on their feet, a little wiser. You might want to tell the Deagle boy that looks don't scare people who ain't afraid.
Oh no, that was him who had the deagle, and he had like
Oh,
a
he did.
gold-plated deagle.
Okay, well then he's not
Classic
gonna.
Israeli, yeah, Israeli issue gold-plated deagle, like fucking some stupid shit.
Well, and it makes sense for him to have it in a way because that's his. That's a statement.
Yeah,
That
that's a
tells-
symbol of
yeah.
office right there. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. That's his saber at his side.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
He
This
goes-
guy hasn't pissed me off like his buddies did. I don't know.
Yeah, and like maybe as you're going, he's like, "Yo, I would give you one piece of advice. I think you got spunk, and you're spooky as fuck. So if you learn that I learned this and you didn't learn this, you probably come and kick my ass. There's some fucking German dudes or fucking whatever. They're like some European motherfuckers. They came around asking the same questions as you. Of course, I let them in first sight because they were either real ass feds or some kind of shit that was gonna pay me good.
They got here first, huh? Okay,
Yeah, I
go
don't
ahead.
know what the fuck's going on. They seem real spooky though. Only one of them really talked to me.
Interesting. Well, so they ask any questions I didn't?
No, not really. They asked if they knew where the place was, who was watching it, who came and wanted it watched. Asked a little bit more about the nationalities of these dudes. I don't know shit.
Well, at the very least, were they white?
Which dudes?
Not the German dudes, the ones spouting their Afrocentric bullshit.
Well, they're spouting Afrocentric bullshit. You think a honky would say that shit?
You ever been to South Africa?
Well, true. And I have been to community college, I guess. Shit.
Sorry, that was kind of. I have been to JUCO.
Yeah. He goes, but yeah, I don't know, whatever the fuck they're looking for, if I was you, I'd stay clear of that shit. Too much trouble in my book.
Well, I guess it would clear up quite a few problems for you if I did, though.
Yeah, I don't care. Shit doesn't affect me as long as it don't spill out here.
Fair enough. You have fun. And with that,
Hey, he nods and says he's like, and by the way, if you're ever looking to move something up here, just let me know. And he flicks you like an actual business card.
this guy is fucking rich.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the business card.
Yeah, and his name is Master Marty M.
Oh my god, he put his first name down as Master, huh?
Yeah. No, he puts
Or- no.
quotations around Master. And it literally is just his name, a phone number, and then for the address line it says fuck off, that's where.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, he nods. More or less, this is something I run into any of his people. Yeah, I got his business card.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, there's no phone number on there. But
No, there is a phone number.
oh, okay,
Yeah, there's just not an address. The address is
Gotcha.
snarky. Yeah,
gotcha. Okay. With that, he nods. Yeah, Joker nods. Gets back in the car. We'll hopefully turn the ignition with no car bomb.
Nope, no car bomb. Looks
Joker
like
didn't-
one kid with like maybe you see one kid who's like hiding behind a thing, like trying to get up the nerve to steal your rims, but he sees you walk out and fucking ducks behind a bush.
Yeah, and that's where he's like, it'd be a show of weakness to check for a bomb now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah.
Start up, drive off, and then we're gonna call Khan.
Yeah. Okay. Con, you get a call.
Yellow, what's up?
Did things about as clean as could be expected. well, couple of idiots decided to get in my way, but they learned the error of their ways. Best thing, no cops involved. That's what I love about these parts of town. People handle it man to man. Anyways, good news, bad news. Good news is that, well, whoever took those jobs aren't really connected to any family around here. Whatever locals helping them out, they don't matter much to anybody. They disappeared, it would just be another statistic. Bad news. Those German fuckers got here before I did. And that's saying something.
Those German fuckers may have been there, may have been coming from there when we saw them at the rest stop. May have, we don't know exact time frame of when they were there, do we?
Did he make a clear indication of that, Mike?
I mean, we can say that you asked him,
Sure.
like yesterday.
Okay, yeah. Well,
yeah, so they
it was
were
yesterday,
there.
so.
So the Germans were there asking around.
Yeah, they didn't seem like the friendliest bunch either. I give the man spooky vibes, but apparently they were scarier than me. That's why I had to do it a little. Oh, what do you want to call it? A little litmus test.
Alright.
Anyways, look, if you're trying
Anyone
to find.
else?
Go ahead.
Anyone else asking around?
Far as I know, just the Germans.
So we know there's more than one person, more than one organization or person or whatever involved in the angle.
Correct. So whoever the Germans are, they didn't chop Lily Baird's finger off, and they're not currently threatening her child.
Interesting.
That being said, can guarantee you that they're here for the diamonds.
Then that leaves either Plainview, Callier's estate, or someone connected with the Berber tribes or Algeria.
Could be the CIA. Or for that matter, the Tooth Fairy.
And, well, somehow I'm not placing my bets on it being the Tooth Fairy.
But you are the CIA? Come on. Everyone knows that they just collect information more than they, well, retrieve it. Nowadays, at least.
The only way the CIA is involved is if this is being, is if these diamonds are being used in some way to fund terrorism, perhaps. It could represent an international thing.
No, that
You hear
mention
Lily Baird. You hear Lily Baird in the background. For your part, Colin, of course, you hear her in the foreground because she's with you.
Yep.
You hear CIA be criminals in action, like just as like a fucking.
Of course
So,
she would.
Yeah.
But he does it. Oh, by
Colin
the way.
just shakes his head like that was. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
By the way, forgot to mention. The day before, I'm guessing even the Germans, it looks like our threatening people strolled on through looking for recruits. They didn't get very far.
What do we know about them?
Well, the Marty, I have a new friend, his name's Marty. Marty said that they were spouting, well, his words not mine, some Afrocentric bullshit.
Well, then those are much more likely connected to the Berber tribes.
That'd be my guess. Did you know he didn't know that white people live in South Africa too?
Yeah, it's not entirely surprising. There are a lot of people who don't think about that. Considering the fact that much of Africa was colonized by the French and the British. I'm not sure how people miss that, or the idea that there might still be white people there. But you know, it's not a thing everybody thinks about. So,
No, no, I guess not. Of course, then he had the audacity to say, "I should have known that. I went to JUCO."
honestly, if he went to junior college, he probably should have known that. I mean, this is stuff you should learn in high school, really.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of the specific details. I'm sure not many people would recognize the name Calais or Ermagir, any of that, or possibly even the Berber tribes. But you do at least learn that there are white people in Africa because white people tried to colonize the fuck out of it. So this is so. This also gives me cause to consider the possibility that Plainview is connected with our African friends in some way. Sounds incredibly. Yeah, voice filters could be used. Suppose we could take any of the take the tapes we got and see if we can't get them to run through some sort of filter to see if there's been any modification to the voice, what have you. Didn't think that was a thing we might need to do until just this second. Keep poking around and see if you can't get any information. Somebody took the job. We need to know who. And I said, you know what? See if you can't find the location of an Al Baird. And
Ow.
like, I don't know what Lily's response to the fact that her not having told me I know her ex-husband.
Oh no, she mentioned Al Baird.
Oh, did she? Did she? Well, she
Yeah.
didn't mention his name though. She just said my husband and I.
Yeah, she said Al.
Oh, did
but-
she?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's like, see if you can't get an eye out for Al Baird. Lily describes that professional indiscretion as being born of desperation. If the usual suspects in the more organized elements of crime weren't involved, perhaps somebody desperate was, and the only person I can think of here that we know is desperate would be Lily's husband or ex-husband. I don't know. I don't.
You got an address for me?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Lily would fucking spout out. Well,
You got
actually,
an
Lily would
address?
go. Lily would probably go. I'm pretty sure Al has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, well, we gotta investigate every lead anyway. If
You
he
worried about me
involved in
hurting him? I'm not gonna do that.
So, Mikey, as this conversation is going on, we cut over to your angle.
right?
Maybe we get a shot of like fucking Dimitri like smoking a cigarette and kind of grinning as he sees one of the rooms, like the people in it having sex, and you're like, ugh, you know.
Yeah.
And you turn your attention to the camera at the front door, and you actually see a person in a very nice suit come up to the front door
Fuck.
and leave a small manila envelope, like push it through the mail slot, and then look up at the camera for a second, and then turn around and walk off.
Yeah, gonna message Con real quick. Tell him that.
Nice. Yeah, Colin just kind of goes, yeah, that would figure. And and he kind of looks
Have the
around.
German people pick that up and then like transfer it to your room or something, maybe.
Yeah, the Armenians, one of them goes and actually, like, as you text Khan, you get the call on the room telephone, which you're almost hesitant to pick up because it's real grimy looking. There is no smoking room in this motel.
I definitely fucking use like a towel or a washcloth to
Yeah.
pick it up with. And I hold it just like that slight bit away from your face so you're not touching it, but you can still hear and talk.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you have a delivery for me.
You hear Boris on the other end. How the fuck did you know that? Do you want me to check it for bombs or something?
Yeah, that'd probably be appropriate.
Yeah. He says, "All right," and then you just hear the envelope tear. He like you hear like a rustling. And goes, "Nope, no bombs. Ain't been killed by anthrax yet either. You want me to bring it up?"
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You
Within
know,
like
now he's gonna be a little hurt because he's like, "You did a back actually," or he might be like happy about it. You did a background check on me. I feel important now.
yeah. So you are kind of like sitting there, and like Boris comes up, knocks on the door, gives you the shit, says, "I swear I didn't read any of it."
He, I, yeah. Khan takes it and he goes, "Probably best you don't. You don't want to get it mixed up here."
He nods emphatically and like closes the door.
And I'm gonna take a look at it and see, and I'm gonna make sure that I put on gloves before I handle it.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know, put it like,
Sure. And yeah, you guys have some fucking just like latex gloves.
yeah, or
In
nitrile or whatever.
nitrile, yeah,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that. You
yeah.
you pull it out and it's a single piece of printer paper. It doesn't look like any real aplomb or a cord has been put to it,
Mm-hmm.
and it reads as thus: "You've been in town 4 hours. You need to go there. They're hungry. He's starting to smell."
Interesting.
Granddad's dead.
What's up?
They killed the granddad.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Hmm. I'm not gonna show this to Lily just yet. I'm going to probably actually first I'll show it to Mikey. Um and then I'm probably going to send a text to Joker
Is
about
it handwritten or typed out?
Typed. It's 12 point times New Roman double spaced.
Good. Dang
Oh
it.
my god, did they remove space after paragraph too?
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Ah.
they're being super cautious.
MLA?
Yeah.
No. APA.
These people have gone to college. Yeah.
I think we need to have somebody send a message of our own.
Where? I mean, I could type something up and have it freaking telegrammed or whatever, but where are we going to send it to? We got to find the address of the house. If we find out what house they're sitting in, which I'm working on slowly, we could do a little telegram delivery, have somebody deliver a telegram or something. I don't know how they work now
Right? We need to. That's
to that house.
yeah. That's why we need to get your part of the investigation square. And here's the thing: these people keep trying to hurry us. That means they.
Yeah, but if you hurry, you make mistakes. We
That's
take
why they're trying
time,
to hurry. Exactly.
get all the details that we need before we stumble in, and that's what happened. The problem with the last one is I stumbled in without all my information, and yeah, I almost got punched.
So it couldn't be the Germans warning us that the other people are, well, we're running out of time?
It could be, but either way, neither of these groups have our best interest at heart. Either way, I'm not entirely certain. The fact that they keep trying to set up a place where we are going to be, the meeting, they tried to put us in a place where they wanted us, and now they want us to hurry over there because they want us to be there under their terms. They want us to show up somewhere on their terms. We are not going to do that. We are going to wait. We are going to make sure we show up on our terms, because if we show up on their terms, we're fucked.
And
So
so, when we
And
deliver the dead daughter of Lily Baird into her arms, what do we say?
Shit
here's the
happens.
thing: if they
shit
kill,
happens.
here,
Fuck.
here's the thing: if they kill Lily Baird's daughter, that's the leverage they're using on her. That's also the leverage they're trying to use on us. If they kill Lily Baird's daughter, they risk what Lily might do. She might turn on us, being that we're close at hand, but we've kept her pretty well watched. She's not going to necessarily get the drop on us. Or that'll give her further fuel and motivation and fire to oppose them. Either way, them killing the Susan's a bad Susan is a thing that's going to be their last play card. Now they'll probably, the chances are good they'll kill her the grandma, because we're making them wait and what have you. But I have a feeling that if we just show up on their terms, we all fucking die anyway. So no, you know. Besides, part of the reason they're trying to get us to hurry, and part of the reason they're trying to get us in a place where they know where we're at and know what they know where we're at, but the reason they're trying to get us to specific spots is because they want to leverage information out of us. They want to find out where the Adamus Karif is. They want to find out where the gems we stole are. And currently, the only one who knows that is Bickle. Consequently, Bickle's also the only one who is the one who set up this place. And whoever keeps it, and however they're finding out shit about us, they're finding it out from somebody who is close to us.
Obviously, Bickle.
So it might not necessarily be Bickle. It could still be Pamela.
My money's on Bickle. He's been way too helpful.
And to be honest,
He's the one we wouldn't suspect.
yeah,
Would have
well,
least reason to suspect.
no, don't worry. I've been marking down reasons to be suspicious of everybody. And Bickle, he was a little late on the draw, coming to help out when the Venom job went south. That in and of itself is, considering we placed him in the neighborhood close so that he'd be handy in just in case something like that. Maybe he is innocent, but at this point, there are two people around that aren't the three of us that it could be, and then there's the three of us could still be the third one of us three.
How dare you accuse one of us of being the murderer?
It's almost as if I've ran games before where I've pitted players against players with secrets. It's almost as if the other Thursday slot is a game just like that.
I don't know what you're
And
talking
it's-
about. Now stop it. Don't give him ideas.
And it's almost like I've used that same tack myself as a GM on my name. So, yeah, I don't rule that possibility out.
Oh, this is good. I've weaved a web and you are all just upon it. And I think that maybe about 2 a.m., a little after where I am. So I think we'll wrap up. You guys are going to get a post-credit scene.
Okay.
Let's see here. But we're going to start with you guys as outros. So, Jesta, do you want to start outros?
Okay, I certainly will. I'm going to try to keep this as short and sweet as I could possibly keep it because reasons. So, I am the Jesta King Zerat. You can catch me here on Monday nights for the Fire Strike, my favorite group of pirate space terrorists and never do wells. You can catch me here on every other Thursday for Fast Cars, Clear Gyms, where Khan's motto is never commit a crime you're not going to frame somebody else for, although, might change. You can also catch me here on Friday nights for the Ballad of the Menagerie, which also takes place in the same universe as the Fire Strike and is awesome, crazy, and is about to have some change ups in the lineup. And you can also catch me here on every other Saturday for the Bitter Ends, our style apocalypse, whereupon there is significantly less misogyny and a crazy cast of characters that I have no idea what they're doing. And coming soon, also be a part of Cosmos, and I will let my character there become a surprise for my first showing there. Tune in if you want to find out what I'm playing there, motherfuckers. Down the line!
All right, we are gonna move on to Gunner.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cyrus Smith. I'm also going to be keeping this rather short. Let's see. You caught me today playing Joker, the terrifying psychopath whose motto is "Don't touch me unless you want a new non-usable joint." I get to pick where it is.
Mm.
You can also find me on Sundays running Tales from the Cosmos. Where yes, tune in to see our band of misfits try and become a giant giant unstoppable army of player characters that roll on towards the inevitable end. You can also find me on Monday playing Twinkle Bailey, the isekai who is feeling very overwhelmed at this point in time because he's got to be the captain now. And Wednesdays, when we run, we didn't this week, but we will next week, in Hinch to Mensch, where I play Acer, the telepathic sniper who's about to absolutely lose her shit and start, kicking down doors if she's not going to get answers on where her little girl is. And that's me.
All right, and let's move on to Scott.
Okay. Mine can't be as short because there's things every day of the week, but I'll try and go as fast as I can. Okay, so I played Mikey, who's doing research, having fun, learning information about everybody. Yeah. That's what
Nice.
he does. Then tomorrow is Ballad of the Menagerie. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. Ha! Chess, where she's trying to negotiate communications with different people for trade routes, and she's trying to be a good person. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Then every other Saturday we have the Bitter End Apocalypse World, where I play Daddy Cashiel, which I got somebody to stop drinking for 2 days that has never done that before.
Nice job.
We'll see how well that develops into the future. Okay. Then Sunday, I'm in Cosmos, where I play Fagara. I forgot my own character's name. My bad. Who built a little foresty thing in the little spire thing, got running water. Now he's got to figure out how to get sunlight for it. Then he did something else. He went with the group, shot some ghosts. That was kind of fun. Monday, Firestrike, I play Xander, which he's waiting for his access to the library so he can actually do what he's good at, and that's research. I got a lot of research characters. What is wrong with me? Okay, then Wednesday, we got Hinch to Minch, where I play Knight, who is glad to be back on Earth. Yay! Now I'm going to spend the next week for being invisible because I spent so much time in space where I couldn't be. So nobody will see me for a week, but I'll still be around and you can mentally talk to me, I guess. But you're not going to see me. And that's all of them.
Wow! All right. And that brings it to me. But first, our post-credit scene. We see a house in an okay neighborhood. We with this house, we get a slow zoom, and then we get a really quick shot of the inside. We see a TV on but static. And then we get the shot out, continuing the zoom from where it was. And then we get another shot, quick flash from inside. Blood is pooling on a beige carpet. And then we pull back out, and it zooms back in on the house even further. We get another quick shot where we see two small hands tied up with rope, trying to struggle their way out. And then we get another shot from the outside of the house. We see the front door open. We see a single black shoe step out and cut. Hello, everybody. My name is Mike, also known as Win 5 Get 1 Free, and you've caught me running Fast Cars Clear Gyms, the game where my players are caught in a web of lies and conspiracy. But it's all about crime, baby. You can also catch me on Thursdays every other Thursday, like next Thursday when I'm going to be running Project Severovo. We're back and we're more incomprehensible than ever. So get ready to have your eyeballs melted out of the front of your head because Lovecraftian horror is coming. You can also catch me on Monday or on various Saturdays where I am a part of the Waterworld sessions of or the Wave World sessions of Bitter Ends.
Friend.
Yes, thank you. Bitter Ends, where I play Greasy, the king of the fucks. Then you can also catch me on Mondays where I am playing Paralictor or ex-Paralictor, depending on the day that you ask him. Well, now it's officially ex-Paralictor, Burnward, who hurt his hand, and now he's throwing a Whittle Temple tantrum. Poor Whittle Burnward. If you are currently watching us on YouTube, we love you. Thank you. But also, come catch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Pair-O-Dice-Theater. Pair_O_Dice_Theater. If you're currently watching us on Twitch, wow, you stayed up late because it's 2 a.m. Central Time. So good job. I'm very proud and very happy that we have such loyal and dedicated fans. But you can also catch us on YouTube at youtube.com/Pair-O-Dice-Theater. And if you like the thrilling world of scheduling, I know, fast-paced and sexy. If you also happen to enjoy community interactions, such as putting ourselves in the middle of the beef between Zulun, the Lich King, and fucking Hrothgar, the Dwarven Cleric. Yes, that is a real thing that's happening on our Twitter. I am definitely stirring the pot there. It's all in good fun, of course, and it's a great time. Catch us, and also you happen to like what memes? Catch us at Pair Theater. My name is Mike, also known as Win 5 Get 1 Free. And we are going to end this with an R.I.P. Terminator and get on out of here. R.I.P. Terminator.
And we're clear. Outros with your little cutscene took 8 minutes. Yeah. No, if we could do 20 minutes, I mean, that would be better. Go ahead.